Alright, well, it's about time I make one of these videos. I've been around the community for a long time, and you always see people make the videos, oh, Shotbow did this wrong, oh, Shotbow did that wrong, but you don't really ever see anybody take an in-depth dive at what's really going on, what Shotbow can actually do about it. Now, this whole DDoS thing and them working with their host, it absolutely sounds like bullshit, and I don't really think that the staff has the time to fix this is the major problem here. If they can't afford to change hosts, they need to ask the community for support because there are people like me and others out there who will give Shabo large sums of money should they need it, but in the event they don't, we're not going to. And people like Mergatron don't want to ask the community for support, and I don't know if that's because he doesn't think it's going to be reliable or he's too prideful. I'd hope it's the former and not the latter, but and then that it is the latter, then somebody needs to knock him off his high horse and needs to come ask us for help. Because if a new host isn't affordable, then you have a real problem where Shoppo's going to get consistently hit off because from what I've seen, the current host is not capable of defending against these attacks. Now it's shitty that Shoppo's in this position. They have to figure something out and do something about this. But they are in this position. They do need to figure something out and do something about this. Now, going through the shouts and counting up the donations for the past month, this is yesterday, and this is a month ago. And these are the amount of donations by the day, and there's a total of 69 donations. It's not a meme. And then also I noticed that it doesn't give shouts for subscribers when they resub. I'm not really sure how many subs Shoppo has or how many people sub in Annie, but I think I've only seen a total of maybe 5 or 6 different people would sub in Mindsy. So on the left is a lower approximation of subscriber and the average donation, and on the right is an upper of the donations. Now on the left I got the average donation being $15 and the right being 25 plus the subs. The subs are different. And if I'm going to be blatantly honest, most of the donations are probably at least silver, unless there's cosmetics that people buy, because I know Tekka buys cosmetics. I don't know if a lot of people really do that or not. But at the bare minimum, Shop was making like $1,000 a month. At the absolute bare minimum, $1,000 a month, and that's probably just enough to keep the server running. If I'm going to be realistic, but if they're making closer to 2 grand, then they're pocketing money or at least banking money for rainy days. And if they've been banking money for rainy days, or at that rainy day, the server's been offline for the past 27 hours. I want to say at this point, 28 hours been down, or if it was up for maybe half an hour, and your average ping was tripled. It was like everybody got like plus 200 ping, at least. People who were further away probably was even worse. I know my average ping yesterday was somewhere around 300, and it's usually like 80, so it's a bit concerning. And staff keeps saying that they're talking to their host. They have no announcement. They haven't said anything in network announcements or Discord announcements about what's going on or what they're going to do to fix it. And I think that's because they don't know what to do to fix it. And that's okay, but reiterate that, because at some point, even some transparency and saying we don't know what's going on, we don't know how to fix it, is better than many admins saying, I can't comment on that, that's not up to me. Navarre, you made a comment maybe 5 days ago about saying like we're talking to our host and they're gonna get back to us. They're gonna fix this, and it's been like 5 months now. It's been since January, more or less, that the server's been getting hit off, and it hasn't gotten this bad. Whoever it was has stepped up their game, and now you have a real serious issue that is to the point where the server doesn't run. And if you guys really don't have the time to fix this, then you need to say so. And if it's to the point where nobody can step forward and either A, change host, or B, get the current host to fix their problems, then maybe you guys do need to shut down the network for a week or two, or say we're not going to have it open until June because we don't know how to fix this, and we don't want to keep the servers up for people to just be depressed all the time and not be able to play. Because I'm gonna like, I know a lot of people are just sitting there waiting for the server to come up, and the server comes up and 50 people join, and then the server goes down 3 minutes later. and then people are upset. You see people talking in Shotbox or hashtag Mindsy or hashtag Annihilation, and they're all upset. And I don't think I've seen Navarre comment at all. Oh, here, I'll check. Here. From Navarre. Uh, let's see. Yeah, Navarre hasn't made a comment since Friday, so maybe he hasn't been online. But then if you want to go look at somebody like Doc, who's also in charge of things, Thursday, maybe Murgatron, maybe he will have said something. See here, okay, Murgatron actually made some comments, but still didn't put it in network announcements. And see the statement right here. If it's going to be a high cost or a high impact, you reach out to the community if you cannot afford to do so. And I get that in the long term you want to have the best plan. We get that. But you are in a time constraint. You cannot wait 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You can't wait a month to get a new host and get everything set up. 2.5 weeks, 20 days, that's pushing it. Because if you get into summer, most people's summer starts in a week or two, because half your player base is college students. If you hit that point and you still don't have anything together, those people are going to go find something else to do for their summer. They're not going to sit around and wait to play your game. And I've seen people in other clans in Shotbow saying, I'm not going to play Shotbow for a bit. This lag's ridiculous. There's a guy in the Night's Watch saying, like, I'm not going to play until Shotbow fixes their shit. I'm not even going to attempt to play. And when groups come back and they see the servers shit themselves, that's when people are going to leave. People like Potato Group, they're going to go. Joe's group might not even attempt to play the game when they see the state of the servers. They're like, well, we can't play. Why the fuck would we even screw around with this? And I'm probably going to start losing some of my guys soon, as is the UTC. Well, maybe not the UTC, because their guys never quit. But those guys have been playing for at least 2 years with each other. So you hit a real point where you're going to lose a game that's based off its community, and that's not just 9C, that's Annie too. Because Annie has a minimum player count to start games. It's like Gold Rush. Gold Rush needed 8 people to start a game. By the 3rd day of Gold Rush's alpha testing, there were nobody in games and you couldn't get a game started because you needed 8 people to join Gold Rush. I had 6 guys join the game and it wouldn't start up a lobby, and we weren't going to sit in there for 20 or 30 minutes to get a game started, and you're going to run into that problem in Annie. Now, mind you, you can have people play it with only 5 people online. But in a game like Annie, you're going to lose the entire game, and I'm sure that staff's aware of that and the implication there. But if another bootleg Annie server were to pop up in this time, if whoever was doing it had their own server and they pop it up and they advertised it to people within the community, Shotbow will for sure lose people to that. And I don't think that staff is able to put in the time to really fix this. And it's maybe their host is actually fixing something. Maybe a couple days from now, the servers will be fine. They'll be on the same host. Then I'll have been wrong. But 3-4 days ago, the server got hit off like, it was like Wednesday afternoon, maybe, for like 3-4 hours. Earlier this week, the server got hit off for hours on end. And that didn't happen one day. There's another day it was hit off for like 2.5. And if that wasn't enough of a wake-up call to get something done, maybe something started then, but the host is very, very seemingly incompetent if you guys have been getting DDoS. I heard from certain staff members that the host told Shotbow that they weren't getting hit off and that there wasn't an attack and that it was Shotbow's problem, and that's just ridiculous. If that wasn't enough for you guys to think, well, we need to get a new host, you guys should really be there by now. This is the epitome of going back to an abusive relationship thinking everything's going to be okay. It's been 5 months. You guys need a new host. I don't trust your current host to get their shit together, and I feel like the longer you wait, the more people you're going to lose. And if you guys don't have the money to put forward to get a new host, Merg, you need to step off your high horse and ask the community. And I know you might not trust the community to be consistent in it, but I know at the very least I will, and I can afford to give you guys at least $100 a month for the foreseeable future for at least a year. And considering your monthly income is maybe $1,000 to $2,000, that's anywhere from 5 to 10% of your monthly income, guaranteed. I don't know if that's really going to help you significantly or not. I don't know if my estimations are necessarily correct or not. The average donation could be $50, and then that would mean they're getting $4,000 a month, or closer to it anyways. But the staff really needs to outline a solution to this problem and not rely on their current host. While you're saying that getting a new host is a last-ditch opportunity, it's your plan, it's your backup plan in case this doesn't work. This is going to kind of work, and it has kind of worked, and it's been like that for months now. It's not a fix to the solution, it's a band-aid. And we don't need a band-aid, and we don't want a band-aid. We want to help you fix the problem. Let us help you fix it and stop acting like you guys have everything under control, because you don't. Now this video is approaching probably like 9-10 minutes at this point, and I'm just rambling. So my final regards are going to be that Shotbow needs to really look into other options, and they need to stop relying on their current host to fix their problems, because they're not providing any sort of protection, and they didn't think that you guys were getting attacked for a long time.